One woman, love women. What's happening, party people? We're on our Wednesday night call, and it's late. It's happening. It's good stuff, but I wanted to talk about an aspect where we get into when we have problems with women. When we get into judging women, hating women, objectifying women, disliking them, but also loving them, and all this weird stuff. I really want to sort this out because in the pursuit of your relationships, sex, all these good things, what you're going to find is there's some really good stuff if you just do it in the right order. So much of pain from men and then to women comes from not understanding this principle that we can see a woman, right? And when we experience her, we can love her, we can hate her, we can move into all different realms where objectification can happen and choice can happen. She may want us, she may decide to give herself to us, but that is a different relationship that we have with women. See, and it's interesting because if we derive our relationship with one woman from our idea of women, man, we can only hate them. We can judge them. We have prejudices before we meet them. We can't understand the individual. But when we can understand that individual, whether that is good or bad, whether it has all these different characteristics, then we can understand femininity as a whole. Through one woman, through understanding one woman, we can search and fulfill and satiate this beautiful draw, this beautiful urge that we have to experience the feminine. Yet, when one thing goes wrong with one woman, we forget that we need to resolve that problem with her. We may put all of our hate towards her or what she gave us and all these different things into women. And it's a terrible thing. You know, we build up so much hate for women because we don't know how to handle the pain or the love with one woman. In our relationships, we go through all these times and, we're going to get pressured, we get screwed over, we get fucked, we get divorced, blah, 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 blah. And if we hate one woman, that can allow us to still love women. And this is a huge thing, which is different for so many men. And this is what's interesting is like when we go through these processes and it flips both ways of loving and liking and hating and da-da-da-da. But instead of working on ourselves, let's say we go through a divorce, let's say we go through a bad breakup, let's say we go through something where we totally get screwed over. One of the biggest problems is instead of working on your hate for that one woman, we instead hate all women. And we put ourselves in a corner where we can't grow as men. We put ourselves in a corner where we don't learn more about the beauty of dating and so on and yada, yada, yada. And one of the greatest things that will ever happen to you in your life, although it won't seem so at the time, is when you get absolutely wrecked and screwed over by a woman. You talk to, and this is one of the posts that we have is that, man, any man that has been through a divorce and then like works on himself afterwards, he makes the most amount of change. Divorced men make the most amount of change. And if not, then they sit and they get stuck and they stew in that sort of like anger and their lives just flatline for the next, 30, 40 years of their lives. They never get over it. But the ones that do work on it are amazing. And see, that's where we need to start. If we have hate, if we have contempt, if we have anger, if we have sadness, if we have all this negative emotion about one woman, and then we focus on the work on that, and our part and the whole gamut of it, then we can salvage ourselves by still loving femininity. And you can still salvage yourself by understanding femininity, like how it acts. Yeah, man, it can be crude, it could be crass, it could be angry, it could be vicious, it could be hell hath no fury, like a woman scorned. But it doesn't have to always be that way. There's a way to manage it. And the best way to manage and control is not through that hate, it's through that open-mindedness. And when we talk on the flip side of this, there's this interesting thing where when we aren't in love with one woman and we fantasize about relationships, and we fantasize about women, and we go back to that guy that doesn't have any experience with women, what does he do? That man without experience with women, he loves all women. But then he builds up a fantasy. He builds up the fairy tale. He doesn't understand it. It's not until he can have that love with one woman that he can understand all women. And this is an interesting thing because, man, one of the best things about the Wednesday night call, what we're on right now, is there's a lot of guys actually who went through tremendous amount of pain through divorce, breakups, custody stuff, all these things. And man, in a matter of 2 years, 4 years, well, it's less than 4 years, but in a matter of 2 years, 18 months, something like that, man, they spin their lives around. And it's funny because there's another guy on here and he says, man, I love women for the crazy, psycho, erratic, sons of bitches or whatever that they are. And it was such an amazing quote because in that time, man, we can learn about women. We can learn about the troubles. We can learn about the problems. We can learn about all these consistencies that come about over and over again. But that comes through that experience once again of interacting with the person in front of us, face to face, and sharing that. And when we can do that, man, it's an amazing thing. Guys, if you want to be on our Wednesday calls, if you want to interact with our groups, the best thing I would do is to check out the Rebuild Challenge. The links should be down below. If you're watching this as a live stream on Facebook, those links are not there because I didn't put them on there. But if you're watching on YouTube or later on Facebook or so on, man, check out the link for the Rebuild Challenge. For $10, you can get on for 14 days. You work with us. We had a call earlier tonight. We'll also have a call Friday. We have a call Monday. So that's 3 calls a week with a ton of different material and a private Facebook group where you get to interact. You can see if you like it, dip your feet in the water with what we do. Because let me tell you something, man. We are working tonight. We've been working since 7 p.m. on our calls, all the way probably going till 1 a.m. tonight, 2 a.m. It's just how it goes, man. Sunday, same thing. We do the work. And when you become a man that does the work, you start living a life for the benefits of that. Remember, masculinity is not something that you need to go seek after in an image. It's already inside you, and we'll show you how to get it, cultivate it, and make it broadcast to the world. All right. You guys have a good night.